Transcendental Transformation, the place where spirituality and transformation unite. Host Miss Raina imparts truth so that you can break through your limiting beliefs and evolve into a deeper consciousness. As you go about your day, remember, before every breakthrough, there is a breakdown. And now, let's start the show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Transcendental Transformation. I'm your host, Miss Raina, and today is Tuesday, April 21st, 2020. As always, we're coming live from the Sirius Star System studios right here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I hope all is well with everyone. Well, I want to wish my dad a very happy 77th birthday. Unfortunately, he went back home and crossed over back in 2012, but today is his birthday, and yes, he would have been 77, or he is 77, or whatever we want to call it, but, I kind of tend to think about that, even though I know that when we cross over and we go back home, we don't hold on to this earthly stuff anymore and stuff, but, I know how we are here on this side where we still think about our parents and our family members aging and keep living on. So I just want to wish my dad a happy 77th birthday and thank him for everything that he did for me. My dad, our relationship was kind of rocky at times, but my dad had a good heart at times, just sometimes had a temper, and but he did a lot for me. He really did. He made everything he taught me a lot. He taught me how to be strong. He taught me how to live my life, and no matter what people think of me, just keep pushing on, and he really gave me the world. So I want to thank him for that as much as possible. So I got some good news. My health has been improving, and I have been able to work several full days. They're here at the computer, doing video editing and everything like that, and working on the radio show and everything. And but I've been able to sit up, I've been able to work, and I've been able to do things, 8-9 hours. Of course, I've been taking breaks here and there, but it feels so good. Why? Because for the past 3 months, I've been sitting on the couch over there in the other room. And, and it was hard just sometimes to get up to go to the bathroom or make food. So, with hard work and dedication, taking care of myself and making sure I release a lot of stuff, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, things have been going pretty well. So I wanted to make an announcement. We're finally bringing back the session shows. If you're not familiar with the session shows that I do, there are mini shows that we do maybe twice, 3 times a month, and they're about 20 minutes long. This past week was on self-sabotage, and currently we are going to be working on them to kind of build up a membership. So we are going to charge a little bit. I think we're going to charge, I'm not sure what we're going to charge, but I think it's probably between maybe $7.99 or $8.99 or $9.99 a month. But they're going to be very in-depth shows. They're going to be answering questions for the people that I wasn't able to get to. Maybe we might even make shows out of questions from the viewers that we get. But a lot of it's going to be more in-depth stuff. So the proceeds some of it will go to helping the homeless, and some of it will help to fund the radio show and do the things that we need to do, because it all takes money in this world. So I hope that you guys will sign up for on our website, soulandspirit.com, sign up for the sessions membership, and be a part of the growth. So don't forget, everybody, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and now we're live on LinkedIn. Because why? Because Restream is now allowing us to be live on LinkedIn. So I'm excited for that. So all right, guys, we have a lot of stuff to get over, and we got a lot of stuff to go over, because tonight's show is on mental health and social media. And this is a big topic. And why is this a big topic? Because every one of us, I mean, we know that there's billions of users on social media every day, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, Chat Hat. Social media is a daily part of our lives. And for most of us, it's become a very intimate part of our lives, where we share a lot of times the most deepest and darkest secrets and expressions of self. And for a lot of us, I mean, we're on it every day. And I'm kind of guilty of that myself, because because I'm on it a lot, and there's times in my past where I got caught up in social media, because it's very easy to get caught up to, especially when you're bored, or where you work from home, or you're just, whatever you're going through at times. I mean, social media seems to be this platform for, it's supposed to be for connection, but social media, I don't. They say that's supposed to be a program and a platform for people to stay in touch, with current friends, past friends, rekindle past friendships and relationships, and which I have. I started becoming friends with people I was in high school with, grammar school, even grade school, and people I've grown up with, teachers of mine, and on that aspect, it's great and it's wonderful, and it allows us to easily connect with each other and hold those connections and share that connection with each other. But it also may have some drawbacks too, and and in my personal experiences, I think we've all seen sometimes the nastiness that can become of what social media is. And so, I know for many of us, there are fake profiles. People make up fake profiles all the time, and try to friend request us, send programs where they steal your information. It allows people also to say whatever they want. I mean, how many of us have gone on social media groups? We belong to groups and pages, and people just say whatever they want without consequence, without any responsibility to their actions whatsoever. And it makes it hard, really. It does. It makes it hard. And it also and with that, it opens up the possibility for a lot of conflict. And that's really what is seeming to become troublesome. So what we have to do is really ask ourselves, is social media healthy for us? Is it kind of creating a social disaster of emotional imbalances that lead to mental and emotional health issues? And in my personal opinion, and from what I've seen, and from a lot of the studies that I've read over many, many years, social media does. And I'm gonna I'm gonna be maybe the Debbie Downer of the day for a little bit, because I think social media at least has gone away from what it is we really wanted social media to be used for. But it has. I really think that social media does create an imbalance. It does create a lot of emotional disasters and emotional imbalances for us as humans. We're on it constantly. And I just want to give you a couple stats about Facebook alone. I didn't have time, and I wasn't going to go into YouTube and Pinterest and all that, but just Facebook alone, as far as December of 2019, so that's only 4 months away. As far as December 31st of 2019, when they took this, they said that there are 2.5 billion users on Facebook. Of those 2.5 billion users, 1.6 billion log on every single day, which most of you are on it right now. Most of you are watching me on this, and we're discussing this. And yeah, so you're part of that 1.6 billion. And to be honest with you, I kind of thought that was kind of low for some reason. I really thought it was going to be. But I mean, we have 7.8 billion people on the earth. And so 2.5 billion are actually on Facebook. That's a lot of people. And I'm sure, and they're saying that the daily active increase by year, every year it goes up 11. And that's at minimum, they're saying. And so 11% every year, there's more and more Facebook's users, and there's more and more Facebook users that log on it every day. There's 1.47 billion active mobile users. So people have their cell phones right here, and right away we're on our cell phones. We're right on Facebook. We're taking pictures. We're sharing our experiences with life. We're sharing everything it is that we have to be with what it is. And so it's I mean, that's a lot of social media. That's a lot of people. Out of all Facebook's users, 70% of all females out there of all females in the world, there are 76% users, and of all males, there are 66% users. So that's a huge number, people. That is a huge number we're looking at. There are 83 million fake profiles on Facebook alone. 83 million. So that means there are people out there that are just creating fake Facebook profiles to either catfish you, to create an image that isn't their own, to make up a whole story, to make up a whole lie, to maybe get your information, credit cards, to get. I mean, I get asked about friend requests daily from people I don't know, and even from people of me that have a second profile, and all of a sudden I realize, wow, this is a fake profile, and if I make them a friend, they spam my stuff with a lot of advertising, or they steal my information and my password, my credit cards information, and they go on a shopping spree. So that is very chaotic, isn't it? And here's a stat that I thought that is very interesting for a lot of people, is there are 300 million photos uploaded every single day. 300 million photos uploaded every single day just on Facebook. We're not talking Pinterest. We're not talking about Instagram. We're not talking about ChatHat. We're not talking about any of those. We're just talking Facebook alone. Can you imagine all the photos? I mean, I was talking with Caleb like this the other day when we were creating the show. I go, there must be like 5 or 6 giant warehouses with just nothing but servers just for Facebook alone, because that is insane. 300 million photos uploaded every single day. And so I didn't work out the math, but that's mind-boggling, at least to me. And what's funny is every 60 seconds, they say that every 60 seconds there are 510,000 comments posted, 293 statuses updated, and 136,000 photos uploaded every 60 seconds. So that is just mind-boggling. Social media has become in every aspect of who we are. It has become a part of our lives. We sleep social, we breathe social media, we eat social media, we sleep social media. It has become everything entwined with us. I want to ask you guys right now, how many of you guys really have a hard time where you can't go maybe more than 30 minutes, maybe even more than 10 minutes without picking up your phone and checking on social media? Whatever it is, whatever platform it is, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever it is, or even just your emails. How many of us are glued to the computer? How many of us are glued to how many of us are glued to our phones? How many of us are constantly trying to interact? I know that one of the things that bothers me, and maybe this bothers you guys all the time, is how many of us, when we go out, and this is, to me, I'm big on respect, and to me this will aggravate me very quickly, is when I'm going out with my friends and everybody's on their phone. We're out to dinner, maybe at Chili's or TGI Fridays or wherever we're at, Field of Greens, wherever, and everyone's on their cell phones. and no one's talking with each other, and that just absolutely drives me nuts. To me, that tells us that we are so disconnected from human interaction. We are so disconnected emotionally and mentally that we need to be consumed on our phones, because that gives us an idea of having some type of emotional connection to self. So, in my area, when I look at this and I say, well, how much are we on social media? I mean, do we use it every single day? And these are the questions I constantly ask myself. Another big question we have to ask, what are we using it for? Why are we using social media? What is it about Facebook and Instagram and all these things that draw us, that captivate us, that make us that make us so want to be connected to this all the time? For me, sometimes I jump on it. I always tell everybody this, that if I didn't have a business to run, I wouldn't be on social media. I really wouldn't, because when I first joined Facebook back in 2007, I was on MySpace and all that stuff. MySpace, you really didn't fight with people that way. It was kind of like your own pages and everything like that. And you interacted that way, but people got mad by the way where you put your friends at. Like if you were in the top 3, you were awesome. If someone moved you around, people really got mad that you weren't the top number 1 friend. And so then Facebook came, and Facebook was this alternative, and it was great. And the first couple of years of Facebook, yeah, they were pretty nice. People were just, Facebook wasn't what it is today. And so I look at it and I say, well, today, every time I go on there is nothing but fighting. There is nothing but people laughing at each other, telling you, I've had to take off several people, including family members, just recently, because all I see is nothing but nastiness. I actually did an experiment. When the coronavirus hit, I felt that this was a good opportunity for me to see when the emotional charge of something going on that people just believe without any type of knowledge, and they're just hearing it from TV that something's so bad and they haven't experienced it yet, but because the reaction. If I posted things that were true and things that were not true, some were speculation, but there was some stuff that were 100% fact, but it went against the grain of what everybody else was posting on social media, what kind of reaction would I get? What kind of interaction would people do? And it did not disappoint, because I'm telling you, everybody on there came after me. Like, it was from people calling me stupid and an idiot to people just laughing at me, telling me that I have no common sense, just anything and everything. It was just so nasty and so raw. And that constantly seems to be the theme, at least in my experience. I really don't like to get into this, so I took everything down after several weeks, and I posted, hey, I was just doing a social experiment and I just wanted to see how it was. Thank you to all those that that didn't know that they were participating but did, and I just wanted to wash my hands of it. But when I go on social media, like I even was today, just kind of skimming through, I was looking at so much, and I was understanding that, wow, people really are just chaotic. People are just on here to fight day in, day out. And there are some people out there trying to push love and trying to push acceptance, but the ratio of people actually trying to, promote understanding and compassion to the people who need to be right, and the people that know everything, and all the people that are in self-righteousness really are overtaking social media. And, if I was a parent, I'm glad I'm not a parent. I don't want kids, but if I was a parent, I would not want my children on social media, because it would just destroy whatever self-esteem they had. I know I was looking at some studies right now, and there was one from Wisconsin, Milwaukee, University of Wisconsin, and they were showing that they did some studies, and I'm reading it here, that they did some studies that Facebook, the use of Facebook and self-esteem, they showed that over a 6-week period, people using social media every day over this time period actually found themselves having lower self-esteem and lower views of life, but more of a need to constantly be on Facebook. Like they found it was like more of a craving. It was affecting their psyche so much that they were looking at it and they were saying, hey, you know what? Well, I feel worse every day. It just seems like I'm aggravated more, and but at the same time, I feel like I need social media. I need to be on Facebook for whatever reason. And so I really asked myself then, well, what does that all mean? What does that mean for you? Why are you on Facebook? Why is there such a need to be on Facebook? What are you using it for? What kind of groups do you belong to? What kind of posts are you making? If I, a long time ago, back in 2017, we made this thing where it was where we said, or I made this post. My grandmother used to tell my dad all the time, and my dad passed this on to me: tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. And I never understood it as a child until maybe I got till, like, I was still a child, but until I got a little bit older as a child, and then I realized that, okay, well, who you hang around with, is what you value, and what you value is who you are. And that's the same thing on Facebook. So what I ended up doing was I made a post: show me what you post on Facebook and I'll show you who you are. And that's exactly, or show me what you post on social media and I'll show you who you are. I think that's the correct. I can't ever remember all my things, but that's but that is so true, because we sit here and we're wondering. So many of us I see, oh, I hate drama. I hate that we fight. I hate this, but they get so wrapped up in all that. So we're going to take a break really quick, and when we come back from these messages, we'll talk a little bit more about social media.
A message from the life of Raina. We live in a world faced with many tough challenges. Our lives become chaotic and filled with disaster ever so quickly, most of the time before we even realize. Our issues beat down our mental mindset, and an imbalance of emotions become prevalent. The life of Raina is dedicated to helping people on the deepest spiritual level. Miss Raina, the creator of Transcendental Development and Growth, works on your core issues and finds the solutions which allow you to break free from the emotional bondages of life, helping you achieve the life you've always wanted to live. Isn't it time that you lived life for you? Call the Life of Raina, 561-846-2190, and schedule your appointment today. That's 561-846-2190. Or email thelifeofraina@icloud.com.
All right, everybody, we are back. If you're just joining us, I'm your host, Miss Raina, and you are listening to Transcendental Transformation Radio Show, and we are talking about social media and mental health. And right before the break, I was asking you some very important questions, because I really want you to think about this and what it is that you're doing to yourself on social media. I don't think, first of all, let me tell you this, I don't think that social media is bad, and I don't think YouTube, Facebook, all these things, I don't think they're bad, but however, I think it's what we do with it that makes it into something that creates chaos. And so technically, like, a gun isn't bad, but it's what we do with that gun. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to email me about that comment right now, but technically a gun isn't bad. It just doesn't get up and shoot people and just starts robbing places. It's the person behind the gun that does that. And it's the same thing with social media. So it's not really Facebook's fault. It's not really YouTube and ChatHat and Instagram. It's not really these platforms' fault. It's what we're choosing to do with this. So what are we choosing to post? Are we choosing to post nothing but political? Because if we are, what is that going to do with it? It's going to create all this hate. Because right now in our country, especially the U.S., I can't speak for any other country, but in our country alone, we are so divided, and I'm glad I'm not a Republican, and I'm glad I'm not a Democrat, I'm glad I'm not in politics. I understand that there is somewhat of a need, but I remove myself from that situation because I see what it does to people. There are so many that are so big on Trump supporters that don't see it, and that creates so much hate, and there's so many people against Trump that create so much hate, and it's the same with any president, whether it be Obama, Bush, Clinton's, whoever the next set of presidents are too. It's going to be the same thing because we think that what we're posting is true and right and our way is correct, and we exercise all our anger and judgment and pain and suffering onto these platforms. And then, of course, we know it's going to draw a fight because that's what we're looking for. If we're angry and we're an ego and we're trying to prove ourselves, because that's what Facebook is, right? That's what these social medias are. We're using them for. It's a way of proving ourselves to the world that we're somebody. Well, hey, if we take 1,000 pictures and I'm on Miami Beach and I'm got a fast car, or I'm smacking balls over the fence left and right, hey, I'm somebody. I can fluff my chest up and show the world who I really am. But it's taking away from ourselves. It's taking away from who we really are that really exercises what it is that we need to. And what I mean by that is when we jump into things that are going to create chaos, like religion or politics or just anything. I mean, nowadays you say, oh, the sky is blue, and everybody will jump on you with the right way of what color the sun or the sky actually is. Well, if I say, well, the sun's yellow, well, it used to be yellow, even looking at it, now it's white. But yeah, I mean, science changes. Before it was, before it was yellow, now they're saying, no, our sun is actually white, and because it comes through, the ozone and everything like that, and it has, and I'm not going to get into all that, but it changes colors. So, but I mean, we're so technical because we're always trying to prove who we are. This creates so much chaos. This creates so much hate. We're not allowed, in today's world, we're really not allowed to have self-expression, because if we have self-expression, we're offending somebody in any way, shape, or form. And I mean, isn't that what social media is really supposed to be about? Isn't it supposed to be, hey, this is my page, this is my life, this is what I'm sharing? And that's why I choose to try to promote compassion and all this. I mean, hey, when I was younger, yes, I will admit 100%, there was a period around 2011 when I was going through something really tough, and I let my emotions get the best of me. I let my ego get the best of me, and I turned it into chaos. I mean, I just lit the fuse, and I was like a bomb. It was like, and it just blew up. And I was on there, and I was calling people sheeple, wake up, come on, da-da-da-da, because I was so angry. I was so angry at myself for what I allowed people to do to me because I refused to see the truth. And what did I do? I took it out on the rest of the world. I called everyone stupid. I called everyone sheep. I called it, and regardless of what the situation was, my way was right. Because I involved my ego, because I let myself go, because instead of seeking truth and compassion and understanding, I sought my ego. I was like, no, I'm tired of being hurt. I put up my walls, and boom, and that was it. It was Fort Miss Reina all over. It was the strongest fort in the world, and anyone that came close got shot down. And that's what so many people are doing. Millions and millions, billions of people on Facebook are doing every single day. They're instead of self-expression, they're exercising their anger, their pain, and their suffering, and they don't even realize. This is something you have to realize. What you're posting is not only affecting others, but it's affecting you too. It really does affect you. Every single day, I noticed that, especially since my heart problem, I noticed that every time I got on social media, even just to check my page, like even just accidentally seeing a post, even especially if it was just misinformation and it was just full of hate, it created this this agitation inside me. It was like, without even getting into it, this energy from the anger and what the person was trying to exercise was actually coming at me, and I was like, ugh. And honestly, I could feel my heart race. And I noticed that every time I was on social media, no matter what platform it is, especially even YouTube too. I'm not picking on Facebook, by the way. It is all there. Like, I was even talking to Caleb. I've never had a nasty experience on Instagram, but Caleb said, you know what, hey, there's a lot of people that fight just like on Instagram, just like they do on Facebook. So I'm talking about all social media, everybody, because I go on YouTube and I watch some channels sometimes, and I just see people rip these people apart. Like, there's just nothing but nasty comments. I mean, just nasty. And I'm thinking, how does YouTube allow its users to just say whatever they want to this person without any repercussions? Like, isn't there some type of isn't there some type of guidance system? Isn't there some type of, where they're checking everything? Because honestly, like, it's one of the reasons why I really don't put my stuff up until the last couple of years. I really didn't put my stuff up on YouTube and all this stuff, because when I saw people being so mean and nasty to each other, I was just sitting there like, wow. I was like, do I really want to let myself up? I mean, I'm a strong person, and I honestly don't care, in a loving way. I honestly don't care if people, when they come to me, if people are going to get angry at me or people that. But it was a choice of, do I really want this type of attention? If all I see is maybe one nice comment out of maybe 500 comments that are just tearing people apart, is that the type of energy that I want to come at me? And that's really what it was for me. And so I looked at myself and I said, well, you know what? Hey, if these social media platforms allow people to say whatever they want, to hide behind a computer screen and to hide behind a keyboard without any consequences, then I have to learn to make a choice. Is my interactions with people, is the connection with people so important in my life that I have to I have to be on Facebook, I have to be on Instagram, I have to be on all these ones. And I'm sure there's more, but I'm really not big on social media. So I'm sure there's a lot more out there. Tinder's another one. I don't get. We're trying to move into, as someone who's a spiritual person and who tries to find compassion and understanding in everything. I don't get how apps are so, to me, shallow in the sense of, well, I'm looking at my phone and there's a picture of a guy or a girl, and just based on their looks, I'm either going to swipe left or right, yes or no, without even getting to know them, without even having any social interaction. I mean, some people like me, hey, I'll be the first to admit, I do not photograph well at all. I am a horrible person at photographing. But I'll be the first to admit that I do not, if I put my photograph up there, especially in my younger years when I used to dress nicer and do nicer things. Now I just put my hair back in a ponytail. But, people would say, well, your pictures don't do you justice. And I say, well, that's nice of you. But imagine how many of us are judging others that maybe don't have the nicest photographs, or maybe that just, or they think that they do. And we're just saying no right away. They could be the nicest, most wonderful friend person in the world, but we're becoming so shallow, so materialistic, that we're literally swiping yes or no in a second. I mean, I watched one time, we created a profile. I was at my friend's house, and we created a profile for one of my other friends, and she wasn't big on dating, and so we put her on Bumble, and we put her on Tinder, and one other one, I don't remember. And I just watched her go through all these people. No. I mean, like, literally, like, swiping no, that fast. And I was like, hey, aren't you even going to read their profiles or get to look at other pictures? Well, yeah, but I don't like their photos, so I'm not going to bother. And I thought, wow, this is the world we're in. This is the truth of the matter that we're in. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this at all. Why? This brings so much stress into us. This type of thinking, people, brings so much stress into us. It literally, people fighting trains the mind to be in fight or flight. We talk about having an impact. And we're going to get into, I'm going to get into stress right now, but we're going to get into, and it's all kind of blends into each other. But, we're talking about depression. We're talking about anxiety. We're talking about, PTSD. We're talking about panic attack. As someone who had suffered and still suffers a little bit, but I've worked through a lot of my stuff, who suffered on an everyday basis, anxiety, depression, and panic attacks. The idea of social media, going on it and seeing people just be nasty, created so much depression for me, created so much stress. Why? Because I thought that's what the world was. Because that's what the world's turning into. Now, I mean, if we look at the stats, whatever it was, 2.5 billion users out of 7.8. That's maybe a quarter of the population, maybe even more. I don't know. I'm not a good mathematician. Maybe Caleb can check that up for me. But I mean, that's a huge amount of population. That's saying, because again, show me what you post on social media and I'll show you who you are. How you post on social media is really who you are. That's you in the raw, because you're not afraid. It's almost like drinking. When we're drunk, our inhibitions go away. We don't care. We're not afraid to dance and say things and do things that we normally wouldn't do. Well, social media is our alcohol. It allows us to be protected behind a screen, behind a keyboard, and say whatever it is we are. So I implore you to go back. If you hate drama and you're always stressed out and you're always depressed, go through your social media and see what you post. See what groups you belong to. Check out these things, because I guarantee you our life is a reflection of who we are. So if there's stress in it, we're causing stress. It's thank you, Caleb. It's a third of the population. A third of the population. That's huge. That is huge. It's a huge amount of the population. And so stress, when we're in fight or flight, because we feel defensive, when we go on and people are bashing politics or bashing religion or bashing people because you believe in the coronavirus and other people don't, or you don't believe in it and other people do. And it's just all this mess, no matter what the subject is, sports, my team versus your team, whatever it is. And that this is fight or flight. When fight or flight happens, you're anticipating the fight. You become more edgy. You become more reactive. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, how many of us can go on social media and not fight? When was the last time you went on social media and didn't say something purposely to try to either build yourself up as, oh, I don't care what you people think of me, or just something that's just going to antagonize someone? And we do. We may not think we do, but go back into all your social medias and see what you do. There's very few people out there that actually try to promote peace, love, and joy and happiness, and try to promote. I mean, there are some people that I love to watch their social media, and because they really don't get involved in it. Maybe they post a bunch of animals and a bunch of things that are helping humanity. I love to see that. I really do. I really, really love to see that. And all the people, and there's still a lot of people on my friends list that I had to unfollow because I still like them. I still like them as people, but they are just so angry and so chaotic and causes so much stress that I actually had to unfollow them. Because in person, they're great. They don't act like this. But when we're on social media, when we're on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, man, all of a sudden our feathers get, ruffled a little bit, and we boast our chest out, and all of a sudden it's off to the races. And when we're stressed out, we take things personally, don't we? We really do. We take things on edge. We're everything is personal to us. So stop taking things personal. If someone wants to post that they're a Trump supporter and you're not, who cares? Let them like him. If you want to post that you're an Obama supporter and they're not, who cares? If you want to support Fords over Chevys, who cares? Do you see how silly this sounds? when you really break things down, social media and what we fight over and what causes our stress, it really is senseless. It really shows this type of idea that, what we're really fighting about really doesn't make a lot of sense. We'll be right back after these messages from the Life of Raina.
A message from the Life of Raina. We live in a world faced with many tough challenges. Our lives become chaotic and filled with disaster ever so quickly, most of the time before we even realize. Our issues beat down our mental mindset, and an imbalance of emotions become prevalent. The Life of Raina is dedicated to helping people on the deepest spiritual level. Miss Raina, the creator of Transcendental Development and Growth, works on your core issues and finds the solutions which allow you to break free from the emotional bondages of life, helping you achieve the life you've always wanted to live. Isn't it time that you lived life for you? Call the Life of Raina, 561-846-2190, and schedule your appointment today. That's 561-846-2190. Or email thelifeofraina@icloud.com.
All right, everybody, we are back. If you're just joining us, I'm your host, Miss Raina, for Transcendental Transformation, and we are talking about mental health and social media. And right now, we are talking about stress. So let's talk about a competitive and comparative form of stress, because what is that? Oh, it's exactly what it sounds like. There is a stress that forms itself from competition and comparative. And what that means is that we're always competing on social media. I mean, because really that's what we're really doing, right? If we really want to be honest with us, those that are constantly taking pictures of themselves and their lives and posting about how great they are and stuff are really, you're in competition with everybody. You're really out of the lack of love for self, we're really creating this idea of competition. Well, I need to be better than you. I need to look better than you. I need to be, because I'm looking at these people and everybody seems like they're so successful, but I'm not. And so I got to make myself out to be this amazing, wonderful person who doesn't care about anything or anybody in the world, but just shows how awesome I am. And this competition, this comparative stress, is kind of instinctive, because that's what we react out of. I mean, you look at animals, you look at us, we're no different. I mean, animals compete for food. Animals compete for mates. And we do the same. But the difference is we have a conscious choice to do this. Animals don't. They do it instinctively. And because we choose to do this, because we choose to see our fellow people, even our friends, as competition, we allow chaos to ensue. I mean, it makes sense, right? We create stress because we feel that we're in competition. As I said, Instagram and Tinder and Bumblebee and all that stuff, or Bumble, whatever it's called, that's competition based, right? There's an image, you see an image, we swipe right, left, or right, give a heart, don't give a heart. And, if I'm on Tinder and I have a profile and I don't see that, I see people that are looking at my Tinder profile, but not really liking my stuff or sending me emails, what do you think that does to my self-esteem, to my confidence? What do you think we're doing when we have to have likes on Facebook or YouTube or whatever it is, or Chat Hat? What do you think it is? We look at it, and because we're trying to find that self-love, because we're trying to find that love within us to fill that hole, and so we're looking at it and we're saying, well, if I get all these swipes and I get all these people, I'm getting the attention, then that means I'm attractive, that means I'm successful, that means I'm good looking. But if I don't get that, man, our self-esteem just blows up, right? I mean, it's dead in the gutter. And a lot of these studies that I've read, and I have them all pulled up. I'm not going to get into stats. I thought about giving you a bunch of stats, but I think you're old enough to kind of do that for yourself. But, all these stats were saying the same thing, that people base their self-esteem, their self-worth on how many likes they get, how many swipes, how many people like their image, and if people don't, it really destroys who they are, because likes equal attention, right? I mean, it seems simple enough. But that's why we have to really love ourselves. That's why I said when this coronavirus happened and all the lockdown, which, I wasn't thrilled about the lockdown because, I believe in people's rights. And I don't feel any government should have any say in forcing people down. But when this lockdown happened and everyone's been complaining, oh, this is so horrible, this sucks, day 10 on coronavirus lockdown. Well, you know what? That shows how disconnected we are from self. That shows that we are on social media and distracted with our life so much that social isolation, or this type of isolation creates that mindset. I mean, because if we don't have self-esteem, if we don't have self-worth, then, because we're looking to make friends. I mean, how many of us, do you really, let me ask you guys this. On social media, no matter what platform it is, and I know most of you will say no, but really, I really want you to dig down deep in your heart, and that because what your brain is going to say and what your heart is going to say are going to be two different things. But how many of us base our value on how many friends we have? I mean, I know people with 5,000 friends on Facebook. Maybe it doesn't go up to that. I know Facebook used to have a limit, but I don't know if anymore. But I've seen people with 3,000 friends, whatever it is. And I only, at one time, I only had maybe 60. And, of those 60, maybe 3 I actually talked to. Now I have over 500 and, or whatever it is, I don't even know. And of those 500 or 600, whatever it is, I still only talk to 3 people on an average basis. So who are my real friends? I mean, if I put my self-worth a comparative to social media, I would have the lowest self-esteem ever, because people don't usually like a lot of my stuff. People a lot of times take offense when I post something, a quote or something, that's trying to share love and acceptance and to have self-reflection and to share knowledge with the world. People take it offensively because you're trying to down them. And it's like, well, no, if it's not like that. But this is the way we do. And if we don't have the likes, if people aren't liking all our pictures and everything like that, then social isolation really starts to kick in. Depression starts to happen. I mean, I'm looking to make friends, making connections on social media. We don't have anybody. No one's liking our stuff. Well, then this isolates us even more because, hey, I'm on social media. I have all these people, but no one talks to me. And now I'm truly all alone. I truly don't have anybody because I thought social media was going to help me be this person that I was supposed to be. And it really doesn't. One of the things that always has driven me nuts in the spiritual community was when people say, fake it till you make it. And why does this drive me nuts? Because that's telling people it's okay to lie. Lie to people until you become who you are. And I just don't agree with that. I always believe in being upfront, honest, and loyal to people, even if people aren't going to like you for it. You know what? Life is what it is. I am who I am, and that's the way we're going to do. Why, when I'm having a rough time, why should I act like my businesses are going so well and what I'm going through is so well when it's not? Why do I need to lie to you on social media and life and do all these things to build up this image, to keep up this image? That creates people. I want you to listen. That creates depression. That creates anxiety. When you lie, you go against who you are. You come away from duality. You come away from the duality of not positive as good and negative as good and bad, but positive and negative as an attraction to keep you in duality. But you literally disconnect from who you are. That makes your body out of harmony. That releases stress. That releases you to be depression, because we know that stress happens first, then anxiety, then depression. We know that. We know it happens like that because when we're stressed, we're stressed about other people's choices, other people's images. Hey, everybody, there's ads on Facebook every day. Everyone's buying something. Everyone's got a new car, the fanciest bats, they're always on boats or whatever it is in life. And then all of a sudden we're seeing all these ads popping up for marketing, hey, you want to live a good life, then buy this program. And it's like a solicitation of every day of telling us that we're not worth it. That unless you take this person's master program, you're not worth it. And how horrible of a message is that? Unless you buy this and get a degree from this college, you're not worth it. Unless you do this. I mean, if I clicked on right now, if I just Googled something and I didn't have my VPNs on and everything like that, 2 seconds later, I would have 50 ads on Facebook and on social media, Instagram, everything about what I just Googled. And, you know, and I realized that did you know on Facebook, every 4 people, when you're scrolling through Facebook, every time you pass 4 people, there's an ad. So if you're scrolling through Facebook and let's say you go through, I mean, you're going to see a huge amount of ads. If you go through 30 people, you know, or 35 people, that's 5 ads, right? Or no, it's something like that. My math is not good right now, but whatever it is, it's around there, 5, 6 ads. And that, so you're catching all these ads of these things, and then you're seeing people and they're successful or not. I mean, honestly, it gives me chest pains. And how can we not get depressed, people? How can we not allow our stress to lead us and our anxiety to lead us into depression? It's going to, because if we're constantly feeling like we're in competition with one another, and then we're stressed out about it, and then we become having anxiety because now our self-worth and our you know, our self-esteem is going down, and we're losing ourselves. It's like the Titanic. We've hit the iceberg. Facebook, social media come up and hit the Titanic, and we're going down. You know, I mean, we know that stress lowers on a physical level. We know that being interacted with social media has been shown to stress us out, which means stress lowers your serotonin and dopamine levels. Your serotonin, you know, is your mood. Your dopamine is your, like when you're watching a really good movie, it's like your excitement. When you're watching a really fabulous movie with all these pictures and all this CGI stuff, and you're like, wow, that's so amazing, and you're getting that feeling of you're just in awe. That's dopamine. And so your receptors aren't doing their jobs, and your body's not making the serotonin and dopamine because stress shuts everything down, because stress is fight or flight. Hey, I'm in fight or flight mode, and every time I go on social media and I get aggravated at someone posting this, or I start laughing at someone, you know, because whatever I'm posting, my way is right and your way is, there's many different forms. You don't have to sit there and become angry at people, you know, for you to feel depression and stress. You could be one of those people that think that everything you post is right and everyone's stupid and everyone in the world doesn't know what you know and you're just the greatest thing. That's a form of stress and depression and anxiety, because it's the survivor. It's kicking up. It's like, wow, you know, I can't handle this, so I'm going to make myself better than everyone else so I don't go into all these things. It's kind of like it's a trick. Your mind, your ego is tricking yourself into thinking you're not stressed, into thinking you're not depressed or having anxiety, but really you are. It's just a different form of it. So, I mean, and we know, hey, if we don't have any serotonin, we don't have dopamine, we're stressed out, hey, what does it affect? It affects our sleep. Because in studies that I just read over the past week alone, I've seen, and over the years, I've seen that, you know, it shows that the statistics show that people who are on social media all the time sleep horrible too, because they're on their phones almost till they fall asleep. Then they put their phone next to them, which emits radiation and disrupts their sleep cycle. And then they get up, and the first thing that they do is check social media to see how many likes they got from the night before, who commented on their stuff, because that instant gratification is trying to fill that void. And so, you know, so our sleep goes down, our sex drive goes down, our motivation, our cortisol goes up, we're fight or flight, and it's just a mess. one of the last questions I want, because I know we only got about 3 or 4 minutes. Tonight went by so fast. I never get through all my notes, but that's okay. I'd rather have more than less notes, right? So one of the things that when I was talking with Caleb was that, I wondered how much social media affects poor diet, our ability to eat healthy. Because think about it. If we're stressed and we're angry and we're upset, either we don't eat or we eat too much. And what kind of foods do we eat? We eat comfort foods. We eat foods that make us happy, that the chocolates and the ice creams and the pizzas, and the McDonald's. And so if we're doing something that's constantly causing us stress, anxiety, and diet, and depression, and then it has to be affecting our diet. I'm not going to get into this because I want to get into something else in part of our show, but yeah, I really want to see studies on that, because I guarantee, just putting 2 and 2 together, I guarantee that our excessive need to be on social media affects our diet. I have no doubt about that. But one of the things that I want to talk about is having our depression turn into anger. And when we're in these chat groups, I know I've been on a lot of chat groups. Let's say NFL memes, ancient mysticism, and I hear a word like ancient mysticism, and I think, wow, okay, cool. People are going to be on here to talk about mysticism and paths of life and different things. We're going to have intellectual conversations, spiritual intellectual conversations. And as always, boy, was I wrong. I was wrong, flat wrong, because all this is fighting. People, religious people post things as if their way and God is right, and everybody who doesn't believe that is going to one place. And then you got the spiritual people that are fighting against them, laughing at them, telling them that they're dumb, and it's just one big cesspool. You got, like I mentioned, NFL memes. I love sports, I do, but I don't make it my whole life. But you get people behind the computer and just making fun of athletes and things that are going on, and no matter how horrible it's going on in their life, they're tearing these athletes apart like they're nothing. And I'm thinking, what kind of people are these people to sit behind a computer screen and just create memes all the time that just make fun of people's lives? True, there are some that are funny, that are just along the lines of joking, but I've seen many that are just flat out mean and nasty. And it's like, wow, I wonder who this person is, what they look like, what they do, to sit there and how do they feel about themselves, to literally feel that they have the right to take athletes that they don't know and just create these memes, and just, no matter how much it would hurt somebody's feelings or how much it would hurt their lives, just put it out as funny. And then you get all these people laughing at it and joining in on the joke. And because depression eventually leads to anger. And we only got like a minute before I want to close out the show, but we got depression that leads into anger. People, because what ends up happening, you get the 5 stages of anger. Once you become annoyed at something, once you see something because your way is right and their way isn't, or you become offended by all these different comments on social media, we become annoyed. Once we become annoyed and we start seeing it over and over, what happens? Then we become frustrated. Once we become frustrated, now the fire is ignited. It's flaming, and then all of a sudden, what do? We start lashing out. We become hostile. We'll make one post here, and then we'll make another and call someone stupid. Put the laugh face on there, and we start firing back. After that doesn't work and we see we're not getting through to people, then we just become enraged. And these last 2 stages are where most of us are, unfortunately. There are some really awesome people out there, like the guest I'm going to have on next week for the show, and that really try to promote understanding and compassion and love in the world. And there are some of us out there that are, but the majority aren't. The majority of us are in anger. The majority of us are in righteousness. The majority of us are in survivor. We're trying to survive. We're trying to make ourselves someone by believing that our life is in our mind and what we believe is better than somebody else. And these platforms give us unlimited amounts of to do it. They give it to us in that way. So, and we don't have to be responsible for it. I can say and do whatever I want without any consequences. And that's where we are. And in my personal opinion, cyberbullying happens. I mean, people commit suicide all the time. And, there's so many more notes I really want to go through, but we're just out of time. But yeah, in my mind, there's not enough of us that are trying to create happiness. There are some of us, and I'm actually trying to change my social media with more of those people, because I don't want to see fighting anymore. I don't want to see that stuff. I don't care who's right or wrong. I don't care what president you like or dislike. I don't care if you believe in the coronavirus or do. I don't care what, I just want to see that we as humanity are trying to show love and compassion for each other and trying to grow with one another. And that's really what social media needs to be turned about. So it's up to you, people. It's really up to you. If you want to continue using social media the way you do, then you got to expect you to be in anger and depression, anxiety all the time. If you want to change that, then make the choice and change that. If you want to remove yourself, that's the greatest thing about life, is we can remove ourselves. We don't have to be involved in social media. I post on there my thing and I turn it off. I don't check it. I'm done with social media. Unless I'm interacting with a client or someone, then I'm done. I don't care what people are posting, because I feel that with who I am and loving myself, I don't need to involve myself into other people's anger and pain and suffering. And that's just the truth of the matter. So make the choice. If you're not sure, go through your social media and really check it out with an open mind and see if you're one of those that cause chaos, or if you're one of those that promote love and understanding. All right, guys, that is our show for tonight. I gotta get my little thing out here, my little checklist of ending stuff, as always to say, because you think after 6 years I would remember it. Of course not. But all right, people, make sure you check us out on our Facebook at facebook.com/transcendental transformation, YouTube channel at youtube.com/transcendental transformation. Visit us at soulandspiritguide.com and sign up for our newsletter to receive special hidden shows, VIP access to special guest offers. Like next week, we're going to be having a very special guest. Her name is Angel Marie. She is an amazing light worker, amazing stuff, and you guys are really gonna like the show. She just brings such a wonderful energy, and if you sign up for my website and hers, maybe we'll do something where we give a little special gift out to or some type of discount for services. So make sure you do that, and if you have any questions, email me at transcendentaltransformations@gmail.com, and always remember to believe in yourself, and it's not our abilities or our talents that make us who we are, but it is our choices. Thank you and have a wonderful day.